Well, the heads are finally done from the machine shop. Dumbasses. Valve spring kit you ordered for the cam had the wrong seats sent with the valve springs. The valve springs, the seats that came with it were designed to fit the stock heads. Well, these are obviously not stock heads and they wouldn't fit. So luckily the machine shop called it and he had to spend another 70 or 80 bucks on just for the seats for these things to get them to work right. He also got in the mail the other day here flow matched injectors. That was like $340 for that set, I think. They got a timing set. He didn't go double roller because that calls for modifications up the front of the block. We're not going through all that. Who snaps timing chains? It'll be all right. I know I said this wasn't going to be a how-to, but before, I forgot to mention last time, your thrust bearing is in the rear back there, and before you torque that down, you want to seat that. You can tap your cap on with a dead blow, real lightly, snug your nuts up. You could probably put 5 foot-pounds of torque, not much, very little, just enough to get it in place. Now remember, the thrust bearing has wings. That's the thrust bearing. That's a seat. It has one on each side. And before you torque it down, you whack this front of the crank with a dead blow. In the front, the back, front, back again. Hit 2 at each end. Don't be like a redhead stepchild. Just let it know who the authority is. You respect my authority. Anyway, that'll seat your bearing. Then then you can go ahead and torque that bearing down. Okay, we were doing a dry fit with the rod bearing. We put a rod in. The bearings that came with the kit, they were King Racing bearings or something. But it was showing only a thousandth of clearance, maybe a little hair more. So I've got a cheap mic set and a bore gauge. And I got a vernier mic here. It's already locked down. I checked them all. They're all identical. It is a forged crank. But hold on, guys. This thing came up. It's supposed to be a 2.1 rod journal size. This thing's gonna be nothing but glare, I know it. This is a 2 to 3 inch. But it didn't make it to 2.1. And it's not going to focus. Not going to focus. There we go. I just about made it to the 0 for 2.1, but did not. So we can't count it as 2.1. Every full revolution on this is 25 thousandths for every turn, 1 full revolution of this outside. And to get that last one, between the last 2 lines on there, you come over here to the vernier scale and pick the one that lines up. See, the 6 doesn't quite line up, but the 5 does. So that would make this journal 2 inches, 0.999, and then that 5 is our reading. So it'd be, our rod journal size is 2.9995, because this does read in the 10,000 scale. So we'll put that into place. Then we will, and I did check this with the bearing that we read on plastic gauge, and that came up on this scale as reading 1.5 thousandths of an inch. That's still a little tight. So we ordered one single bearing set. This is the Clevite CB663HXN. The HX series is supposed to be a little looser fit on a standard journal, so we're locked on this. We have that locked, and this gauge also reads in 10,000ths. Every line on here, every line, as you can see over here, is 5/10,000ths of an inch. Every single line. So, and then when you get to the 5, that's 5/1000ths of an inch. I think. So we'll check the bore gauge. You can't even see that, can you? Now what we want to do here is we want this to zero out. Come on. Come on now. Play nice. And we'll just keep rocking it back and forth till we get to our highest reading. I got my head in the way, don't I? That's okay. I'll bump that a little bit. And he loses it. Back on. Okay. You can see that or not. Nope, lost it. Now we're too far. Come on. This is going to take a while. Now, okay, that's our highest reading I can get there. Now I can't get it. When I'm blocking your view, I can get on that 0. Well, anyway, we're zeroed out there. So now, I already have the bearing in there. I have that rod torqued down to 74 foot-pounds. I also did that device. When you clamp down on your rod, clamp here only. Do not clamp anywhere else down here. Support that. I used a cruel method. If I put cardboard on both sides, clamped it, then torqued it. I went halfway on each side, and I got to 74. So, all right, so let's stick this in here. Can you see that? We'll keep going until we get the highest, where it's going back and forth. So that's 1, 2, not quite 3, but it's over 2.5, about 2.7 thousandths. So it's less than 3 thousandths. It's at the loose end. But it's better to have a loose, where you at? It's better to have a loose bearing than a tight bearing. A tight bearing, if there's not enough clearance, that's when you risk spinning your bearings out. Sure, tight bearings give you more oil pressure, but you just run a heavier weight oil. So we're at the top end. We want 2.5 would have been goal. Definitely wanted at least 2, nothing under 2, and try to stay under 3. So, but we're under 3. If the oil pressure is too low, you just put a little heavier weight in. Don't run a high volume pump. That just puts more wear and tear on your the gears. So was like I said, if the oil pressure's too low, we'll run a heavier weight. Well, it's a good thing I had finished fouling the rings. I figured I better check the piston to wall clearance. Not on these pistons. These are forged, and they are 2618 alloy forged pistons. Now, because he plans on running nitrous, we need a clearance, piston to wall clearance of 4.5 thousandths to 5.5 thousandths. Already measured the piston. It's supposed to be measured on the side of the skirt here, about the same height as this landing here under the wrist pin. So, already had this on there, wedged her up, locked her down. Then I transferred the device, same way I did with the bearings, to this, the bore gauge. So we'll stick that in the hole. And too much glare.